Hey, deserving listeners, it's time to continue our journey with Darcey and Tom, if he's still in the picture. Let's watch this show, 90 Day Fiancé, and see if I have any reactions.
I can't get away with anything when it comes to Hammy. He's known me for many a year. He's seen my antics. If I sit and say something to him that's not quite correct, he's going to call me out on it. That's how he is. I met her, we had an argument, she left. So I went the next day to Connecticut. I'd written her a letter, gave her the letter. And then I get the door slammed in my face. So,
no.
It's done. I didn't make things easy because I'd kind of started seeing someone else as well and she'd found out about it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's an interesting way of putting it, Tom, but he's admitting that. I was waiting for him to say, and by the way, I was seeing another woman. Now, I will say that I don't know Tom's social life, but his sister and now his friend and his ex-girlfriend, they all have a similar, very blunt way of talking. I mean, Tom has said that's what this friend here is like, and other friends we've seen, and his sister. And so that lends itself to that hypothesis I have about him, where he might not really know what he wants, and strong personalities will help him define who he is. But that's just a conscious thing, and it helps a little bit, but really it doesn't really help him get in connection with what he really wants. So let's see if this guy can actually try to elicit. You know, if you're ever in a conversation with a friend and you just feel like, what is going on with you? There's an impulse to recreate a relationship with them that they had in their past where you overpower them and you start telling them what to do and you give all these advices. And actually therapists will fall into this countertransference as well. And all that does is perpetuate that overfunctioner, underfunctioner thing, with Tom being the underfunctioner, the person who is just a bumbling fool and needs people to tell him what to do. So if you ever feel that vacuum that you're being pulled into where you just feel like they're just so incompetent, you just want to start telling them, well, this is what you need to do. Like, how come you're not doing that? Think about what's going on there. Think about if they're actually trying to seduce you into, it's a subconscious thing for both people, into recreating that past relationship where you tell them what to do, they feel diminished, they resent that, but at the same time, they end up feeling like, yeah, I'm kind of a dimwit. But instead, try to pull up the person, pull them up on their feet. You know, I guess an analogy that I'm thinking of right now is someone is riding a bicycle and they fall over on the ground and they're just like, I don't know how to ride a bike. Instead of just grabbing the person by the collar and dragging them across the ground to wherever they were trying to get to, or yelling at them while they're on the ground, help them back up on their own feet so they can stand on their own 2 feet. Help them to ride their bike so they can ride their own bike. So what I hope he does is, well, Tom, what do you want? What is it that you want? How did you play a role in this breakup? You said that you were with another woman while you were with Darcey. What was going on there for you? You know, have Tom step into the role of the competent one, the person who reflects, the person who drives his own car, not trying to say, I don't know how to drive a car and having other people drive it for him.
Oh, yeah. That's going to drive her crazy, man.
Yeah, well, she's so...
Now I wonder why she shut the door on your face with you, Lara. Now makes sense. Just remember one thing, man. Karma's a bitch, man.
I know.
If you do something bad to somebody,
I know, you get
it will
back,
get
right?
you back, man.
I know.
Yeah. Mr. Tom. Mr. Tom, yeah.
But then there's still a part of me that feels I should go and, like, speak with Darcey and say, look, I don't want it to be like that. I just want to be...
You cannot keep dancing like that with your feelings, and you gotta shut that door completely, 100%. Not even mention her name again. Then you can move to the next step.
No, I don't.
So he's falling right back into that dynamic of Tom is presenting these questionable thoughts and plans, and then the friend is like, no, you can't do that. That's wrong. That's like someone falls over on the bike and you're just dragging them around the ground and being like, oh, you wanted to go to the gas station? Okay, I'll just drag you there. Instead of telling the person, like, you can stand up, get back on the bike, you can do it yourself, and then you don't have to be there when the next time they fall down. I don't know about Tom, but I'll tell you about people that I've treated and people in my personal life, frankly, is that when you're treated as a child as if you're incompetent, you're not good enough, you don't know things, you're stupid, you criticize, this sort of thing, then you grow up with this notion of you're incompetent and other people are there to tell you what to do. But you have a very, very strong anger and resentment towards people telling you what to do. So it's this dichotomy. You both desperately need other people to tell you what to do, and you really elicit that from other, what should I do? What should I do? And you also give off a vibe of incompetence that sucks people in to tell you what to do. So you really want people to tell you what to do, but you also hate it when people tell you what to do. You hate it, you resent it, and you won't do what they say because screw them. Why is everyone always telling me what to do? And that's what the insides are feeling. The outside is asking for help, and the inside is like, screw everyone. How come everyone's always telling me what to do? And both of those positions are early childhood positions that usually get integrated over time and graduate to a form of, well, I'm pretty good on my own, but sometimes I do need advice from other people. Some advice from other people is good, some advice from other people is bad, and it's a more well-rounded, nuanced position instead of, I don't know what I'm doing. Please tell me what to do. I don't like it when people tell me what to do. I don't know if Tom has that issue. If he did, it would be a minor version of it because he doesn't seem to be overblown with it. But I've treated a lot of people like that. And the solution is, as a therapist, is long-term therapy to help correct for the past experiences and a very strong awareness of countertransference for myself, because if I'm not aware of my countertransference, I will get sucked into telling him what to do. Because therapists sometimes get into that kind of conversation where it's like, okay, you're asking me for help, well, I'll tell you what to do. And it feels like you're providing therapy when in reality, you're just non-therapeutically involving yourself in a reenactment of a relationship that happened long ago.
I don't want to play with
It's only
people's
fair, man.
feelings.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I don't
only
want
fair.
to do that anyway.
Yeah. He should move on, 100%. But I believe it when I see it, because I know Tom, he'll change his mind. He's a chameleon, that's his nickname.
So that's interesting. That's not a lot of data right there, but it does kind of point in that direction of he doesn't really know what he wants. He's a chameleon. He does what other people want him to do. There doesn't seem to be a strong foundation of who he really is, which we've seen some evidence of. And that's that problem, is you can appear like a competent adult and walk around and pay for a taxi and pay your taxes and buy your groceries. You can be a competent adult, but there can be a part of you that can, in terms of like love matters or relationship matters, that where you could feel deeply, deeply insecure, as if you have no idea what you're doing and you don't even really know what you want. And that can sometimes be described by outsiders like a chameleon.
I hope you learn from your mistake as well, man.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to stay young, good looking for a long time. We've all been there, my friend. This is time for you to settle and get engaged and get married and have kids. Keep dancing from one place to another, man.
No, it's not good.
You're going to be 50, 60, you're going to be by yourself, sad and lonely. It's time to be serious, Tom.
This is going in the direction I thought it would go, which is, I think, a similar dynamic that is created with him and his sister, with him and his ex-girlfriend, with him and this guy, which is Tom is like a chameleon that doesn't know what he's doing and presents these concerning thoughts, and then everyone's just and he's just like, he's very directly saying, Tom, you need to do this, which, like I said, is just dragging someone to the gas station.
Having spoken to Hammy today, he's right. I need to move on with my future and find what it is I need in someone else. So I want to strike while the iron's hot and go and be with someone that I think I could have a possible future with.
So that's great, Tom, but you would think that you would know that about yourself, that you wouldn't need a friend to hammer it into your head. Again, there's nothing wrong with asking for feedback and advice and bouncing something off someone else and then clarifying your thoughts. But in that conversation, it was him badgering Tom and then Tom walking away and going, yes, that's right. That's what I think. And that can't be where it comes from. Those kinds of very crucial kinds of goals in life have to come from inside of us. As I always say, everything I say is speculative, and I'm basing most of this on the kind of clients that I've talked to. Like I always say, the only reason why I do these videos is to help you out there, is to use this show as a jumping off point to talk about personality, to talk about defenses, to talk about relationship patterns, so that you can think about your lives. Obviously, going to therapy is something that I always recommend that people do. And for you therapists to continue your education around how these things work.
Ever since the breakup, the girls have been there for me. They said, just stay empowered. Don't let a man get you down. You deserve better.
So it's true, Darcey, you do deserve a better relationship. But this is exactly the same thing the kids told her after Jesse. And I hope that you out there are not tired of me saying this, which I'm guessing you are, is go to therapy. If you find yourself having repetitive issues, go to therapy. And if you've gone to therapy in the past and been like, but it didn't work. People email me and say, well, I went to a therapist and I tried 3 sessions and it didn't work. Well, you got to give it a better chance than that. Like for me, the therapist, I've been in therapy throughout my life. If I just went with the first therapist that I met, yeah, I would think therapy sucked too. I've had a wide variety of therapists, and some of them are terrible and some of them are awesome. Some of them are mediocre. You got to try it out, and it's a fit. It's usually a matter of fit between 2 people. It's not a matter of the competence of the therapist so much. Sometimes it does have to do with that, but often it just has to do with a good match.
Where's your Ken?
Hopefully coming soon, because I'm not really happy with the last one.
Or the one
Or the last one before the last, and the one
or
before the
any
last.
of them.
Yeah, it's coming.
So that's interesting, is that she's starting to identify, oh, I have a string of relationships that don't go well. And then she immediately goes to, it's coming, it'll come. That's that defense of I'm feeling like I'm falling into the abyss of terribleness. I've got to look on the bright side, which is not a terrible thing in the moment for sure. But what I'd like to see is, and you know what? I'm going to take this break in relationships to go to a therapist, try to figure out what I'm doing, what kind of people am I picking, what am I doing in the beginning of this relationship that is resulting in this pattern?
I've made some bad choices in relationships, and I can blame myself for that. I just need to learn from it and use this time to love myself, better myself, and focus on my family.
2 thumbs up. You've made some mistakes and you want to learn from it and you want to focus on your family right now. Fantastic. I wonder though, Darcey, if she is going to use this time to really look at what her traumas, and if she has any, and how they are affecting the people she chooses and the way she reacts when push comes to shove in a relationship.
We're fighters. We're going to stay strong and not give up on what we deserve and desire, which is, happiness and love.
That's great. As I always say, take care of yourself because you deserve it. And she is saying that I deserve love. And Darcey, you do deserve love. Yes, fight for it. But where do you put your energy into? Do you put your energy into, I'm going to look for the perfect person, even though I was looking for the perfect person in the past and I chose the wrong people in the past? I'm not going to take any crap from people anymore, even though at the first sign of crap, I strike out or I do bad things that pushes the other person away and it triggers them. So yes, you deserve it, Darcey. And I hope that by looking at the Jesse relationship and the Tom relationship, you can learn, here's the sort of pattern I have about who I choose. Here's the sort of pattern I have when there are attachment problems. Here's the sort of pattern I have about being overly optimistic in the beginning of a relationship and trying to rush things that causes things to go askew. I don't know if she's realizing those things. I don't know if she needs to, but I would wonder if she needs to, and I would wonder if she is.
If Michael was here, he would never let Tom or any of my exes treat me like this. I know, Darce. He was our protector. Always will be. Our big brother. He's in heaven now and watching over us and the kids, and he'll always be with us.
I don't think we've heard about this before. I always like it when they talk about the broader picture, so it gives me more of an idea of what these people have been through. So I don't remember them talking about this. They have an older brother, Michael, that has died. That is a significant piece of information. And I wonder if that has anything to do with what's been happening in the show.
When my brother Michael was 24 years old, he was diagnosed with a very rare form of cancer called Ewing's sarcoma. He passed away July 11th, 1998, at the age of 27. And he fought as hard as he could. He was our rock. He had so much strength. And he was our protector. I feel him with me every day.
So you noticed when she said that he was our protector, and that touched something inside of her. I would speculate, and I would want to know from her, what did he protect you from? What did you need protection from?
And every time we go through a rough patch, we want to spend time with him.
Oh, this is nice. I thought the flowers were just between sisters, but they're putting flowers on the grave. This is great.
Family's everything to us. Our kids, they're our priority. They're our number one. Our brother, we miss him and love him so much. He was a good person and loyal and loving. Darcey deserves someone like that in her life. He'd want better.
This is a total speculation. This is really just throwing darts in the dark at a dartboard. So I'll just say clients that I've treated in the past with events like this where an older brother has died or someone close to them, they sometimes have a complicated relationship with that loss. That obviously they're grieving, there's a lot of sadness, but there's complicated feelings about it. Maybe even some irrational feelings. Like, Michael, why did you abandon me? Even though that doesn't make any rational sense. Of course, Michael had no choice about dying. But when we have losses, we have irrational feelings about it. I don't want to say irrational, but just complicated. And so sometimes we can have a feeling of like, you forsaken me, you abandoned me. Or anger at the person, like, you left me when I needed you. Or I'm not ready to really believe that you're gone because I loved you so much and I haven't had an opportunity to grieve enough or something. That can affect the way we date and the way we have romantic relationships, where we might feel like when we're in a relationship that the person at any moment could just abandon us and could just die. The model is at any moment, the universe will just snatch someone away from us. And that can cause a lot of anxiety for us. Or we're angry that we were abandoned in the past by someone's death. And we want to take it out on our romantic partners. How dare you abandon me in this situation? And the speculations can blossom from there, but that's one speculation I would have. I have no data to go on based on what we've seen. I so wish when I watch these shows that I could sit down with these people and just interview them for 10 hours and just be like, tell me about this. What do you think about this speculation? Do you think this makes any sense to you? Because that's how I operate with my clients, is I throw things out there, I get data, they fine tune it, and we build it over years. Clients that I work with for years, and we fine tune these conceptualizations of why they have repetitive relationship patterns. So just know that when I throw stuff out there, I'm just like, I wish I could talk with her and see what she thought of it.
We'd want better for you right now, Darce. True love, happiness, and health. He would have already said, Tom's not the one for you. I know. He would have known. He would have known. But he knows we're a little stubborn in love. Well, you know what? Michael was a real man. Yeah, he was. He was always loyal, and he was always there for his girls. He loved love. Yeah. He loved being in love. Like us. Yeah.
The other possibility, again, total speculation, is that they had a complicated relationship with him before he died. That wasn't always positive, which wouldn't be unusual. All of us with our siblings, our relationships aren't always positive. So it's possible that there's some unresolved issues there, that when the person dies, we tend to feel like we have to be very positive about that and remember only the good times and talk about only the good times. And all those bad feelings that we had prior to them dying, we put on the back burner. And we feel like we can't resolve and we can't get support around. And we feel shameful that we even have them. But the feelings are there. And that unresolved issue can complicate our attachments later in life. I wonder if that would be something that would be worth exploring with Darcey.
You know, he wore his heart on his sleeve too. Thank you for loving us and letting us realize what we deserve.
And I will say it's a very touching moment.
From my conversations with Tom, he told me that he had made a mistake and wanted to see if I could bridge the conversation between you two. I know he would love that. Please let me know what you think. Did not respond. I'll find someone else. I don't need this.
So that's certainly a very interesting development, given where we left off with Tom. Is that true? Because I'm guessing that she blocked all of his numbers and stuff, so he couldn't actually, I'm guessing. And then maybe Tom asked a friend to contact her. I don't know. It's very unusual. Okay, well, that does it for another episode of Psychology in Seattle. Thanks for joining me. Please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.